Making moves, making morphs. Mark the morphs, track the traits, map the path. Mix them, match them, mastermind the morph flow. Mapping bloodlines, making clutches grow. Morph map, making moves, making morphs. Mark the morphs, track the traits, map the path. Mix them, match them, mastermind the morph flow. Mapping bloodlines, making clutches grow. Morph map.
Here we are.
Hey, how are you doing?
I paid attention to the snake in a tree today.
Did you see it?
Yeah, the money tree.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, here we are.
Yep.
Gotta make that money. You gotta make that money. We're on episode 8 today. I actually am looking ahead of time so I know which episode we're on because I will never remember.
Yep.
Oh,
Episode
man.
8, the redhead.
Yeah.
The redhead.
Redhead gene. Had you looked into Redhead prior to today?
Not very heavily.
Okay.
And
Okay.
but that's just because more of availability or just people showing it in general. It's just I haven't seen much of it at all. So it's like it's like one of those things where if you don't see it, you don't think about it type thing for me. But
fair enough.
I've been thinking about it after this episode.
That's the end of the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for today. We got Moose from Great Balls of Fire. This is like his signature gene. It seems like everybody that I asked said that's who I needed to get on the show. So that's who we got.
Excellent.
And he'll be able to share a lot of his expertise and tell us about some IDs and where he's going with the project and everything. So if you want to pop him on out and say hi.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Moose.
I'm in a box.
I'm in a box.
Let me out. Like Schrodinger's cat in there.
Yeah, we're still living in 1998 here, so.
Where are you guys at?
Sounds good.
So we're in Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm actually we just bought a house recently. I say recently, in the last couple of years, out in Lebanon, Tennessee. So I still consider myself Nashville. I go there 5 times a week to work, so sometimes 7, depending on what's going on. So I always tell people Nashville because it's easier that way.
Yeah,
pretty soon all this is going to be Nashville anyway, the way it's growing. So
for sure, they're just taking it all over.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your business and what you guys are doing with Redhead and how you got here.
So basically, as far as getting back here, it was basically something we decided back in 2018. I'd been briefly in the snake hobby business kind of thingish when I was growing up and stuff. I did red tail boas and stuff like that. Just mainly made them and kind of sold them how we sold them all back then. We just kind of went, hey, I've got snakes. Anybody want to buy one? And just word of mouth kind of thing. So kind of got out of it whenever I advanced in my career a little bit. I wanted to be able to spend more time with that. I'd also met my wife now, Jennifer, at the time. So we kind of branched away from any kind of hobbyish kind of things to just kind of get our beaks wet in just regular life, so but around 2018, I love fish. We always went to the fish store and stuff. And just so happens that my reptile store is also, like every other one, they're fish stores too. So I went in there and, the guy was, I just so happened to wander over by the snakes and I saw a bell. I saw a Super Mojave there for sale. And I was like, man, I cannot believe and that was like the snake that I always wanted. And of course, back when I was younger, that's it's a $3,000-$4,000 snake.
Yeah.
So I never got one because I was like, man, $4,000 can be a couple of Toyota Tercels and a year's worth of gas to me. So
Exactly.
I never got into it, but I was like, man, this is great. I want to buy this snake. I feel I'm at the point where I want to reward myself for what I've done and it's like $400, which just flipped my mind, you know. And while we were at it, the guy that owns the store is like, yeah, man, I just lost my ball python guy. He's decided he wants to be a retic person. So I'd love to, you know, if you start making them again, I'd be more than love to happy to buy them from you. So of course, my wheels get to grinding and turning, and I think about, you know, back when I did it before and how much fun I enjoyed doing it. So started back then doing my research. I wasn't going to be fast. I didn't want to be fast at all in it. So I wanted to take my time and learn everything, and really got super hard and heavy into it around 2019, doing all the buying that we wanted to do. We had decided then we were going to take our time, and we weren't going to buy anybody else's adults. We weren't going to buy anybody else's byproduct. You know, we were going to find what exactly we wanted. We were going to grow it up just so that all the adults were our babies. So we started doing that, started buying pretty heavy. I looked into a gene at the time called Turbo, which I'm still kind of sort of working. It's kind of like, it's about a 13 or 14-year-old gene, but it's what we call a non-recessive version of Turbo, of a Desert Ghost. It's really nice. So I was looking into that, and I got steered towards a guy named Brian Breaks, who was like, yeah, man, just take a look at my morph market, which of course I slowly started to realize what morph market was. And as I was going through the things he had available, I saw these pair of redheads, and I was like, so what's the deal with Redhead? You know, and like, yeah, you don't want to know about Redhead. And I'm like, I think I kind of do.
Now I want to more.
Yeah, so he had a pair, and together, thankfully for him, he was very patient, because when it comes to smartness, you know, we got that Forrest Gump line, you know, they always talk about in the movie. Well, I'm about right there too, you know.
Geez.
So he always says there's not a stupid question, and I always say hold my beer, because I'm going to say a stupid question. So basically, he just kind of helped me dive down that rabbit hole, and was telling me, you know, because he had worked with Nick, the source founder of it, and helped him prove it out. So the animals that he had were basically the original animals that were created while he was trying to prove out Redhead as its own gene. So it was just amazing that he could sit there and take me through chronologically and show me where my babies are that I would be buying, compared to the source animal, which was only about 2 or 3 generations, which to me was amazing. I mean, if you think you think about things like the big stuff now, like Lace and Stranger and stuff like that, a lot of these guys can't show you the source animal, and here he is showing me, here, this is the source animal. So I got pumped. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go full bore into something that's at least going to turn me, you know, I won't be the first guy getting on the floor, but I might be that guy that's drunk coming from the bar on the 3rd floor, just getting on to go up to the top. So I went ahead and made the biggest decision financially I think I ever made in my life, and bought the pair of redhead, the male and female pair of redhead hypos. So we don't. So the long story short on that is that it was found through mapping hypo. Like Nick was trying to find out some other lines of hypo that might have popped up, and in the midst they found Redhead. So a lot of your original buy-in animals that you got with Redhead, they were hit hypo, or they were all hypo. So
that's an interesting fact, that, because that's what I was noticing when you showed me the foundation animal, that it was hypo already. I was like,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like at that point he was like, it looks nice like this. Let's not try to separate it. Let's just go with what we've got. So like the original 6 animals that he was able to let go, fortunately for me, Brian was one of the ones at the top of the list, of course, because he helped Nick. So I got I feel I got really good examples for it. So I stayed fast. You know, we made a decision. We're like, we're not gonna throw anything and everything at this. We're not gonna try to be the first at making stuff. We're just gonna try to make the best animal we can make. So basically, it's been my tempo ever since. Everything that I make has Redhead in mind in some way, shape, or form. So, and that's where we're at now. This year I'll have, we kind of skipped clown. I might have a chance at having some redhead clown stuff this year, but we're going straight to, I've got about 14 shots in my incubator right now for hypo clowns.
Oh, nice.
So
Wow.
hopefully that one of those comes to fruition. They've already been made, of course, but I'm very excited to see what our examples show as far as like what it looks like later
Yeah.
on down the road. So we've got it in other things. We've got it in Puzzle, Desert Ghost, a lot of the other recessives that seem to be the hot commodity right now. But just making a great example of it to show everybody is our ultimate goal. So hopefully we'll have a lot of shots to show people that this year.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, with you said you have it in puzzle. Have you made visual puzzles yet?
I have not made visual puzzles. Actually,
Okay.
thankfully to Nick Sloan, he actually backdoored his way into a Redhead hypo puzzle because he had bought something from Nick and just didn't realize it was floating around in there. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
actually made a Mojave Redhead hypo puzzle, which I think is really great example. I'm glad to see what came of it because it makes me excited about what I could do because we're definitely
What's next?
heavy into hypo
Right.
puzzle. So I'm glad to see,
Okay.
and the goal is to get that single gene in that form, not really
That's what I'm.
necessarily going. Yeah.
That's what
I
I
was
would
about to
really
say,
like to
looking at
see.
Yeah.
looking at the
Exactly.
single gene, I think Puzzle's going to really do it awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I honestly, just the way it is, and especially with hypo on board and some of the pixelization that it does,
Yeah,
when orange go, always say orange ghost because that's the line we're
that's
working.
fine.
It's big orange.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
just the pixelation that we see, it's just
Mhm.
it's just it floors me every time. I mean, every time I go to check something that I've made, it's like I'm so glad that we took our time and we're seeing stuff because we're seeing things that we're not worried about what's muddled in there. We know
Yeah.
exactly a good example of everything went in to make this. So if it doesn't look good, then at least we know we tried.
That's
So
what I was really. That's what I was really excited about. When you were first sending over pictures, you're like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my project, but I'm not. I'm not trying to make everything. I'm trying to make the best examples of this animal that
right,
I can." And it really shows, like in the animals that you sent pictures of for sure. So
yeah.
maybe we can take a look at an example, maybe the first or second slide, I guess. So this is one of your animals.
So yeah, this is a single gene. The closest I can get to a single gene redhead.
Hmm.
He of course head hype. He was head hypo. He actually
Yeah.
belongs to someone else now. So
Okay.
he that was the best I could do as far as like showing what a single gene animal would look like. And
Yeah.
basically, what you kind of get is this contrast of the alien heads is the main thing you want to look for when
Hmm.
you're looking for it.
Hmm.
There's usually a pretty thick or very outstanding yellow stripe in some way, shape, or form on their
Hmm.
back. These little circles is something that's popped up here lately in some of the breeding that I've
Okay.
done. Most of the time, it's
Mhm.
been just straight lines, almost like what you would see on a highway, but just really
Yeah.
high contrast yellow, or just broken lines, kind of like what you're seeing towards the back of the tail on this one.
Yeah.
That's what you would normally see, but I've had some of this circle stuff pop up, so we've been kind of keeping an eye on that as well. But that's the closest you can get to what I feel like a single gene that I've made for a single gene redhead animal.
Yeah. So I've noticed there's some variation. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Right on time. Um, thank you, Brian. So there's some variation in examples that I saw. Like in your example that we just looked at, we had like the alien heads, and even some of
Yes,
yours do or do not have the alien heads that are floating.
right.
But some of them, it seems like we have this distortion in the
Yes,
alien heads, but then we don't have the graniting in all of
right.
the examples that I'm seeing now. Is that
Yeah.
something that's that you're trying to preserve in your animals, or is that something that is separate, or have you
Yeah.
seen it separate out in your breedings?
Yeah, it's more than like what I like about the project more than anything is the alien heads and sometimes on some of the more subtle stuff, and you could see with the one on the right, you could see kind of like some of the alien heads starting to just almost like somebody took a hot butter knife and just kind of start
Like,
dragging it across.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's been what I've liked about it so far, especially with the single gene variations that don't have any kind of recessive play or any kind of hypo play in
Hmm.
it. So it seems like hypo
Hmm.
starts pixelating it more than anything that I've
Hmm.
noticed.
Okay.
So when I see the single gene stuff where hypo is not in play, like especially with clown and stuff like that, I really like some of the stuff. Like I've got a double head hypo clown that I've shown off a couple of times, but it just didn't cross my mind to even show what the heterozygous versions of hypo and clown do. But it does. It basically starts tearing up the alien heads and like either like doing this movement, like you could see about mid level of the one on the right there. How it just kind of just starts doing this little lava lamp kind of thing. And that's what I'm trying to preserve because because hypo is also one of the tempo genetics, the recessives that we're working. So I'm not too really worried about that too much in my lines, as long as the pixelation's doing their job, which is what you normally get when hypo's involved. You kind of get that frosty, which is the reason why they call it the red freeze, is because it's just kind of got that frosty look to it.
Yeah, the first time that I saw it was actually on a Canova video that was all just hypos. It was like all redhead hypos, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, those are amazing. So
Yeah, he was part of the first people to buy into it. I think he got a het hypo, but of course, with Justin, I mean, it doesn't take him very long to make
exactly.
the versions. So
exactly, he's got
World's
quad heads
first, the
year
first
one.
clutch.
yeah,
Exactly. Whoops, sorry guys. um, yeah, so the graniting or the peppering that is in the alien heads, are you seeing that on all of yours, or is that breaking out into like that the example we just saw? The one I believe that was on the left was Het Clown, the one that was like quieter, like creamier.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that that's happening often with the Het Clown? It's like cleaning it up like that?
Okay. Instead of having the more muted colors, the yellows are a lot brighter. That I've noticed. The whole idea that the first thing I look for with Redhead, as you can see in that last one, is the neck strap. It's almost obliterated in some way, shape, or form. It's like makes this little fork look. Or it makes this like it just kind of goes away, like you could see on both of these guys. They kind of just have this. They don't have that blob, as we call it, and that jumps off the neck.
Like up on by the neck. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the first thing I look for when somebody says, "Hey, is this redhead?" Because just the redhead gene itself will start messing with that neck strap because it's trying to create that bronzing that you want with redhead animals. So, but as you can see,
trying to split it.
Yeah, exactly. So and I like to say, more than calling it a granity kind of look, I like to call it antiquing. So it's kind of like that reddish, like almost like you would get, westerny kind of antique look that you would normally get with it. But with the clown, you get the lighter, brighter colors because, of course, it's carrying the gene that'll ultimately flop everything. So
yeah. I think it's pretty crazy, like how much distortion comes out of combos with just this base gene.
Right.
Like some of the things that you see, like as you add more things, like you're like, I have no idea how that did that, because I mean, it doesn't look like a normal by any stretch of the imagination to me. Like I can definitely tell what it is, but like some of the combos, I was not expecting the distortion that was coming from it. For sure.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, that third gene sometimes just takes it somewhere we had no clue it was ever going to go. At some point, I'm going to post on Instagram. I want them to shed before I show them off in any way. I don't think I sent you a picture of it, but we've made a Redhead Superstripe, and I believe.
Oh, you did send me a picture of that, I believe.
I have no clue what's going on with that guy. I'm probably going to have to do a full panel on him because there's I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. So
there's a picture of that one in the slideshow, but we can skip it if you're not showing it off yet.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I didn't know.
I just wanted to make sure.
I just will have a better picture. Yeah, I'll just have a better picture eventually. I promise.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the genes that when we were talking a little bit, because I have an example that has pastel also, and I was asking you about it, and you were saying, the pastel smooths it out. So we decided we kind of look at some pastel options here. So our single gene redhead pastel on the left from Ball Python Shed. You can see that it's there, but it definitely like smooths everything out and removes all that distortion. And but you can still see some of the, is it antiquing?
Like,
Antiki?
yeah, you can see basically what it's doing is it's kind of like doing what pastels do eventually when they're 3 or 4 years old and start browning out. It kind of
Yeah.
does that in a good way. What I've noticed
Yeah.
in pastel. Some of the ones that I've bred more don't have a lot of the keyhole stuff that you see with the pastels, like where the alien heads are actually passing over the dorsal from one side to the
Mhm.
other. So there's my ball beauty.
Hey, buddy.
What's up there,
Welcome, Troy.
sunroof?
Hey.
What's up there, sunroof van? I heard about your issue.
Oh, yeah, man. I thought I'll for surely get this project done in time, and I turned to Lisa. The van hole still there. We forgot to put some screws in, and I'm like, "Hey, what time is it?" And she's like, 6:41, and I'm like, "Oh, I think I'm good. I don't think that podcast is until 8." And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh, it's 8 Eastern, so
Yeah.
7 my time." And
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
"Oh my lordy, yeah." So, I'm super dirty at the moment. I still have a little bit of it left to do, but I figured I'd jump on for a little while here, and I may
Yeah,
jump off if
appreciate you.
that's okay. So I
Yeah,
definitely
of
wanted to
course.
come on for a while. Yeah,
Yeah, I
We
appreciate
appreciate that.
it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Troy. So we're good.
Yeah.
We get safe here.
Yeah.
yeah. I tell you, projects, they don't ever really go my way. Kind of
It's that
fits the
way
whole
for
life of
everybody.
ball pythons too, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So then I also wanted to pull up something that looked, was pastel and still pretty impressive. I felt like but it's also leopard, cypress, and red stripe, which is never a bad combo. So
Yeah.
um,
Cypress was on my hit list from the jump. As soon as we started looking at stuff that we wanted to add, of course, yeah, Cypress was one of the first things that I just knew something was going to happen if we could get it on board. And fortunately for us, it's been a home run for us. So I'm excited about that too.
It's a great guess.
yeah. Do what?
Yeah.
That was a great guess.
That's funny.
I remember seeing Cypress and Redhead put together at Justin's long before he would sell anything. So I bought my Redhead stuff. He had already had some Cypress Redhead stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that's phenomenal." And so yeah, the Cypress and that definitely plays well together.
You had a cheat code.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fun. So Troy, real quick, what all are you working with Cypress with Redhead right now? Since we didn't get to talk to you at the beginning.
Yeah, I would say that I'm still pretty limited. So Redhead, I have working with Cypress as well. So let's see, Cypress, leopard, fire, spot nose, and then it's all obviously with clown or even some hypo clown stuff. I think that's everything off the top of my head. I do think I did a Mandarin Redhead side of things, but I don't know if she's going to go. And so,
Okay.
Just to see maybe how that interaction works. So yeah,
I did see a Mandarin spot nose, I believe, from Chimera that was on what was that? That was on
there's my neighbor's firing up his motorcycle right now. We're gonna hear that.
Okay. Vroom, vroom.
I was getting worried about you, Troy.
It's one of these days. I tell you. Yeah, the dogs are in here. They're barking. My neighbor's working on his motorcycle. Lisa's like, "How are you going to make this even work?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And so I may just have to pick up my phone and run to a different room or something.
No worries. We can live with it. It just was surprising.
Yeah. I can see him he's sitting on it. Oh, here it goes again.
Oh, he's gonna go.
I'm sorry. I'm going to make this
okay.
so bad tonight. Yeah.
All right. So here's another one, Moose, that you said that you weren't super stoked on the way that the Inky combos were going. So I pulled up a couple of those. So we have the regular Inky, which looks like it's actually pulling it apart and dragging it down, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But then your Redhead Inky Cypress looks awesome. So you're going to attribute that to the Cypress, though?
Yeah, I think a lot of the Cypress is kind of like I said, it's that third gene sometimes with Redhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that Redhead and Inky are so dominant on their own that they just don't play well. It's almost like there's a big battlefield, and what you see coming out of the egg that's got Redhead and Inky in it is just like what's left after a big war. So that's the way Eric Walsh explained it to me that way, because he made something like that first, and he was like, I just don't think Redhead and Inky like each other. So, but of course, but I had to try regardless. You know, I'm going to try everything once. You know,
I don't dislike it. It looks like it's also oddly like when you move into that. I do too, but like we're looking at the Asphalt Inky Pastel Mojave Redhead, like it looks like another thing that it's doing when you put it with bell jeans is that it like spaces everything out. Is that pretty much across the board too, where you're going to see more spacing with those alien heads?
The first thing I was able to make, and actually I made the father of that one that you got up with the Asphalt Inky Pastel Mojave. So he actually was one of the first people to buy from me. Was one of my male Redhead Mojave hypos. So it's good to see. It's good to see that, because I know it's coming from good stock. But yeah, I see that a lot. I think the Pastel and the Asphalt are kind of keeping everything at bay, because Mojave and Redhead, they just really start. I think I sent you one of my baby pictures of that. It's just like, it almost does what Pinstripe and Clown do, and start doing this hieroglyphic little digitizing kind of look on the side of them. And that's what I digged about it. That's why I was super pumped about it. Was seeing that Mojave and Redhead did really well. But you know, you got to be careful with Mojave. You know, it'll make stuff that you can't identify. So
yeah,
we've been through that ringer. We think we've moved on from that. We're ready for the next step.
Man, Cypress is just absolutely killing it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sent you the one that I sent that's got fire too, but that you could see the tail a little bit right there of the female that I made, and she's got fire too. She's a smoker too, man. It's just so lucky to have both of those on board.
Yeah, fire does seem to work really well with it for sure. I've got some examples of fire too, but we're on Orange Stream. This is Brian's slide here. No, it's fine. Brian, this is Brian's favorite slide, because Brian's an orange guy. He's orange.
Yeah,
me too,
for sure.
IOD is one of my other ones too. I made sure I was dead set. I was not going to buy just the first one I wanted. I just wanted to make sure I had a good example, and thankfully I was able to be able to make that boy right there. So
the high orange stream one.
Yeah. So she's Redhead, high OD, Mojave.
I missed the Mojave, or it went down underneath what I was typing.
It might have went underneath. I don't know.
It probably did.
Underneath.
I was like frantically making up this slideshow today, so my fault.
That's okay.
Yeah, I tried to do the progression.
Yeah, Moose, do you find that that like Redhead hides within some things at all for you?
Sometimes, you know, like I totally lose it in darker stuff like chocolate. I've lost it in some of the chocolate stuff I've made. I haven't seen anything with wood. I'm almost afraid with some of the stuff, because I'm not gonna be able to find it without help. So like you know, like the dark, like chocolate, Wookiee, stuff like that. I was really scared of Stranger, but thankfully Yeti fell on that sword for us, and that came through really well for us. So I'm pretty stoked about Stranger. But yeah, some of the stuff I'm afraid it'll hide it really well. So
all right,
but I'm starting to get less afraid. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any inclination? Because I still feel like it's in the spot nose or the spider complex. I know that you said it's not a lilac with spot nose though, but but I'm looking at these combos, and it's getting lost in a lot of these. Like, it's really making me think like it's in that complex, and I don't know why. Have you guys done any breedings that you feel like, or who did this? But you did the spot nose pairings that produced both? Okay.
Yeah. So I did a spot. I was able to make a chocolate spot nose redhead from a spot nose chocolate red. You know, like I did a pairing where it would have came out of lilac, and it didn't happen. And I've asked a couple other people too that have done it as well, and they're like, it's just not giving me. It kind of gave me the vibes, but they're steering away from it now. I don't think it has anything to do with being a lilac.
Well, but then like I saw like it's in the slideshow. I think it's a couple more up. There's a blackhead redhead that was posted, and it looks like a blackhead spot nose to me. It ate it just like blackhead will eat like spider and it'll eat. That's the HRA.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a blackhead.
For
Nope. That's
Black
Black
pastel.
Pastel.
Now, I tell you, black pastel. Sometimes, if you see a
That
good
looks
black
sick.
pastel, you see a
That
good
looks
black
sick. I love
pastel
it.
hypo. It looks like a redhead. It's scary.
Yeah.
It gets really close. So, but I
Okay.
mean, a lot of the founding stuff that was made with black pastel on board already. So, I think one of the first super redheads that were made had black pastel on board as well. So, but it was fairly obvious in a super that it was super on a redhead on its own.
So Carrie was asking earlier about cinnamon black or cinnamon redhead. So it wouldn't look too much unlike this. It wouldn't be as dark. Maybe it'd be warmer toned, but it looked a lot like that.
Yeah.
Shane Kelly made some cinnamon stuff. We had a really hard time with it, but it stood out over time. I think with Clown was on board with cinnamon redhead, it would look a ton better than it does in its non clown form. But yeah, the campfire side of things is starting to intrigue me a little bit. So I'll probably be firing that back up and putting some cinnamon in my redhead stuff as well. But
yeah,
that'll be further down the trough.
Yeah.
Campfire's always nice.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with those.
Can't go wrong.
Never. They're always nice for sure. So no ideas yet then what complex it can possibly be at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that makes me not be 100% sure on it is because it's kind of spot nose is good in anything, like it's good in the dark stuff, it's good in the light stuff, and redhead's that way too. I mean, you see it in the light stuff, and you see it in the dark stuff, and it's doing its job, and it's enhancing it in one way, shape, or form, and that's kind of why we went with it. That way, we knew that we didn't have to stick to a certain, color palette in order for it to shine. So that was another one of the reasons why I jumped on board and made that our priority in all our projects.
Moose, who did you pick up your redhead from in the beginning?
I got my original pair from Brian Breaks with Breaking Balls out of Washington. He was, like I was telling before I came on, I was fortunate enough. He worked close with Nick during that time, trying to figure out what was going on with Redhead. So he actually has the source animal that Nick made in order to figure out. So it's one of the slides here, but the original Redhead is a hypo, and he still has it and takes care of it. So it's good to know that I'm right around literally in a couple of pictures I could show you all the way back to the source animal. And like I was telling you, that intrigued me. That's what made me want to jump on board. It's like, stranger can't do that. Who can one person sit down and show me all their animals and say, here's the source animal?
Right.
There it is.
So yeah, the one on the left is the source. The one on the right is the one that is my founding male, which is the grandson of the one on the left.
Okay.
So
nice.
So yeah. When he started showing me that stuff, and he wasn't like showing me other people's stock footage, like, well, this is your raw, I was like, yeah, man, this is something special. I need to try to get on board with this.
I really like how it looks in hypo there as an adult, because it just basically goes grayscale.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like xanthic, but not really.
Yeah, like my original male is a fire spot nose redhead het clown male, and he looks like that and doesn't have hypo in him. But it's weird to see how kind of like you said, kind of a grayscale almost that he's turned over time. Yeah.
And these are the lines that you were referring to earlier?
Yeah, basically. So like you could see with him, it's pretty much. So that's when so I was like, well, maybe this is something that I'm getting from my original animal, these circle things, because the girl that I've got doesn't have that at all, and everything that I've made up until here recently hadn't. So that's what's made me go back to this male, and because we originally thought, just because of all the alien heading that you see right there in the middle and towards the back end of the one on the right, that we thought maybe there's some super in play on that, because at the time there wasn't a super made. So when that clutch came out, I was counting how many redheads came out, and I was hoping all 8 would be redhead, because then it would prove my boy to be super, but it proved otherwise, unfortunately.
Moose, what is your wife doing behind you?
She's getting drunk. I think I heard her open a can.
She getting drunk.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's right. Yep.
Fire up a motorcycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
We literally
Let's
just
go.
got back from Chattanooga doing a show. I've recently picked
right.
up doing frozen rodents, so we're trying to diversify. So I'm that
that's a
guy
lot.
that I feel like I'm Frankie Valley. I'm just doing any place I could drive within 3 hours. I'm doing that show. So yeah, we just got back from Chattanooga from doing that. So she's probably wouldn't be surprised if she's popped up a cold one, because she's had to put up with me all weekend.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
So
She's been talking Frenchies all weekend. Let's just be honest.
Oh, do I need to go grab the Frenchie puppies and
No,
try to?
Yeah.
All right.
I set all the Frenchies.
oh no,
Yeah,
you
there
have
were-
puppies to give away.
There was already
I got some puppies.
there, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
This is
Nice.
it's a pretty interesting interaction, also. I'd say.
I really liked it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely works well with the 8-ball complex for sure.
I just noticed how dark the nose is.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty.
That's pretty
Very
cool.
pretty.
I don't think I've seen that
Additionally-
much.
Additionally, I'm seeing a lot of blushing on the back edge of the head, like right at the
Right.
end of the eye stripes, in a lot of those examples that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Is there any combos that you've seen that go missing on? Is that one of your telltales? Because I mean, I see that in like chocolate combos too a lot of the times, but this tends to even like get that like a pixelation and that little point in addition
Right.
to the neck strip getting split.
I'd like to see that animal now versus as a hatchling. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty well fresh out of the egg, I'm assuming. So
yeah, it's still got an egg scan for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
super
saw it,
fresh
but I
out of the
didn't grab the second picture. But like as it got older, since it's het red, it still kept a lot of those tones, honestly. It did get older, and it's a ball python, but it still kept a lot of that contrast. You
I
know?
almost wonder if it looks better. That would be my curiosity. Is if
Yeah.
it
I
looks
think
better?
Like everything
think
that's really
het
dark
red's
there
so
might have
nice
gotten
as
a little bit
adults.
bright. Like got a lot less. I will say, along the dorsal stripe, it's that solid little dorsal stripe like that is the first thing I look for, of course. But like that darkness, I bet that's lightened up a lot, and it looks pretty phenomenal. I bet it's almost matched the dark browns that you're seeing on the head and at the top of the alien heads there.
Yeah, I was surprised because like I said, I looked into the gene, but I hadn't seen a lot of these combos. So I mean, and believe it or not, like in the history of Morph Market, there's only been, I think, there's only 625 like in history that
Right.
are still in there, unless somebody deleted some, which could have happened. But so there's really still so much to be done with this. Here's what I was looking at. This
Here's the
is a
blackhead.
redhead blackhead, and it just looks like a blackhead almost.
Right.
I mean, I can tell, but it has the point like a spot nose blackhead does on the back of the head.
Right.
And that's why I was like, but I believe you. You did the breeding. I did not. But I'm like, what the hell is it in then if it's not in the spot nose complex? It's killing me.
Yeah,
I
I
really
leaned
want
I
that.
leaned really heavy on Eric Walsh too, which is the
Yeah.
person who made this, because
Uh-huh.
he did a one of the original YouTube videos with Tony Thomas. They're breaking out a lot of their stuff, and I
Uh-huh.
based a lot of where I was going off of seeing what I saw on that show. And
Okay.
he didn't have any blackhead stuff at the time, but he did have some. He was one of the first ones that I saw that made really nice redhead combos, redhead clowns. I mean, so
Yeah. Yeah.
You Moose, you think that's redhead?
I do believe so, just because of the bronzing on the head. Like the first thing I always look for with redhead is like the back, like I was telling them where the neck blob would be. It just basically somehow, some way, shape, or form, it just kind of gets decimated. Like it leaves this dagger look, or it leaves this fork look, or something like that. But it's where the redhead starts popping out, and it just is where it just kind of just pixelates and gets rid of that blob that would normally be back there in the back of their head.
Right on. All right.
Yeah.
I always think blackhead can be tricky because there's so much tied to Blackhead, right? Like Red Gene or
Ringer and all that stuff. Yeah,
Ringer and so like I always, Blackhead's always tricky to begin with, I think, and so right on.
We'll see, because I've got some Blackhead hypo to Redhead hypo stuff this year, so
Good. I
We'll
want to
see.
see that.
Nice.
we'll see what comes out from that.
Yeah. So these are your animals also, Moose, right? So I got that correct. The Spectre's on the left and the Spot Nose is on the right.
Yeah, now we're saying that now, but now that the baby came out that I showed you a picture of, we're not 100% sure that the one on the left's not Spot Nose as well. I just, when they came out, there was such a contrast and such a open and shut case for the one on the right to have it. The dog boning that we were looking for, and with the head kind of sort of being clean and how it should be with a redhead, but the Spot Nose fighting to be there still. It just, I just 100% knew that was there. So when I didn't see it with the one on the left, I just kind of went, well, that one doesn't have Spot Nose in it. But then that baby popped, his first baby was born, which is the Superstripe I made. So there's a chance that he really is Spot Nose too. So we'll have to see. I'm going to have to send that one off to get tested.
Gotcha. I would say there's a high probability. Although
she's already, I think they're at 18 months total on both of them. Like they're 18 months old, and the girl on the right's already ovulating. I've already got her.
Oh, geez.
She's decided to go super early. So
you're all over it. You got them going.
Yeah, I was super pumped about those two.
There's the red stripe.
Yeah.
That thing's wackadoodle.
Yeah, so we're not really sure what else is going on with it. When I showed it to my buddy Brian, he said Spot Nose too, right? And I'm like, no.
What's all this pairing, Moose?
Yeah. So with the thing on the head makes me think that we're gonna have to wait and see a couple sheds, see what happens. But it's definitely Redhead, and it's definitely a Superstripe. We just don't know what else is going on. Yeah, Leo's in play, and Spot Nose could be in play. So,
okay,
we'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty, man. How's that look now?
Yeah, that's nice.
That thing is 4 days old. When I took that picture, it was the first one. Like literally, the clutch mates aren't out. I just went to go check on some and move some over to paper towels, and he was just sitting there chilling with 4 other eggs that hadn't even pipped yet. So
nice.
Said,
all right.
Well, you're coming out and getting a picture with me real quick, and then you're going back.
So, right on. All right. So fresh. That's awesome. All right.
So I'm pretty pumped to see what he decides. And it's a male, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of people playing with Superstripe much anymore either. So I think it's nice that you got that going on.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Superstripe can do some crazy things too.
Absolutely.
So this is just
combo.
Fire yellow belly leopard spot nose redhead, which I thought was pretty crazy looking. Because I mean, it looks like if you looked at the back end of it without looking at its head, it would look like it was some crazy ass, like almost like a clown combo to me.
Right.
But,
that's wild.
Yeah,
that's
fire goes really well with the redhead, and I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, it's really good as an accent to a double to a two gene combo. You know what I mean? Like if you've got like redhead, spot nose, and fire, it's like fire makes it like with that one Cypress that I had that was Cypress yellow, redhead Cypress itchy. The fire on top of that just takes it to a whole different level.
You said that you have a spot nose fire redhead. Is that right, Troy?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's what I started with. Yeah. Yep.
Do you have access to it right now, or are you in a different room?
I could go get it.
Do you mind? I'd like to see it because I don't have any of your stuff on the slideshow. So.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna take these out.
Okay. No worries. So this is another one that had Inchy in it that I really thought was cool as shit. Like I saw this
banger.
Yeah.
Like what I literally like stopped on that and I was like, this looks like nothing else.
Right.
No holds barred. Like and
I love seeing what's in the back because that makes me think about I don't have to worry about I think leopard's going to be in what I've made as well because that back end right there is exactly what I see in the baby. So.
In your Superstripe.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that thing it looks like like an acid trip to me. Like,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is absolutely
And-
wild.
and there's like it's a 4-gene animal and it doesn't have any recessive, which I mean, how awesome is that we can make something that looks that cool with
Yeah.
Redhead as a base? You know what I'm saying?
And it's not turning white like everything would do with 4 and 5 genes on board.
Exactly. It's not turning black.
Right.
It's not turning white. It's like it's got a lot of pattern. It's still got a lot of color. And I imagine those caramel colors will look really awesome even as it ages because it's like
yeah.
nice and bright. You know.
Always
I
pay
really like that.
attention. Always pay attention to the first quarter of a redhead combo because
Mhm.
the back's something's crazy as it gets older. The back changes some way, shape, or form as far as color
Okay.
and contrast. I always make sure I look at the first part of it because that normally kind of gauges me on what this animal's going to look like as it grows.
Okay.
Because, man, it, like I said, with especially like that Cypress combo that Cypress clutch that I made, it's changed tremendously. Like that boy that they had a picture of, he doesn't look anything like that now. He's just
Oh, okay,
changed
so-
completely. He's gotten
So
a lot
what-
brighter.
Okay, so they get a lot brighter. You're saying as they get older. So the colors kind of go to like a lighter, brighter side versus really dark.
Kind of gives you that
Okay.
orangey sandish kind of look, like you would like red
Mhm.
sandy look. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
So it's like a
definitely
whole
lot to
different-
look at.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see Troy's baby.
Can you guys
It's
hear
not
me
hypo,
okay?
hypo.
Okay. Well, when I took my things off, the power got bumped, and so
Oh no.
yeah. Anyways,
Oh,
so
okay.
come here, buddy.
So he's not hypo.
This one is not. Nope. So just
That's
fire
crazy.
spot
Like
nose
I would
redhead.
have thought he
pet
was
clown.
hypo.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then this girl is in shed, but basically the
Uh-huh.
clown version of it. So
Oh wow, look at that.
I wish she wasn't in shed. She's very, very pretty.
But the pattern's
but-
amazing. And you can see how her oranges on the sides or the flames are coming up there. I bet those look amazing when she's not in
He
check.
wants to fire right at my face or something here. So
So that's crazy. There's no way that I wouldn't have thought that animal was hypo though. That's crazy.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Yes, Jacob,
Those
that's
are
Mike.
beautiful. Wait, is that Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike in the chat. Yeah, that's beautiful. And so that's the same combo, the spot nose, fire,
So
redhead?
fire spot nose redhead clown. Yeah.
clown. Okay.
That's really
And
nice.
see that's just a 2-gene clown. And look at it, right? That's
So yeah, 3 genes. So spot nose,
Three
fire,
genes.
redhead.
oh, spot nose,
clown.
3 genes, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not good with math. Don't mind me.
Mhm.
She's beautiful. So she's
Yeah.
coming up for next season, you think? You have her
She's
ready?
only probably 500 to 400 grams or
Oh,
something
okay.
right
She looks bigger than that.
now. Camera's deceiving.
It adds. The camera always adds 10 pounds.
Yeah. I'm gonna go throw these guys back downstairs real
Okay,
quick.
no problem. Thank
While
you so much.
Troy,
for
while
coming
Troy
out.
does that, you want to run the sponsor ad?
Yeah, let's run our sponsor. Let's run.
All right.
Josh. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna run the sponsor ad real quick.
Break. It's so deep. Feeling weak. Need nothing.
Passion.
G forever.
Some are born with it, others chase it their whole lives. At MCBR, animals aren't just a business, they are a legacy. Driven by obsession, defined by quality. At MCBR, the passion drives us, the quality defines us. Our motto is simple: live your dream.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
thank Yeah, thank you, Josh. All right, what's next on our schedule here? What do we got next? We got so much
Next
stuff. to look at.
will be
Oh, this thing! What the heck?
what the
GHI red, yeah, the GHI pinstripe. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I saw the first pinstripe. I'm like, wow, that does some stuff with pinstripe. Then I saw the GHI pinstripe, and I lost my shit. I was like, I was like, what? I was
What
not
is
expecting
going
that at all.
on?
That's just redhead GHI and pinstripe. Like I immediately was like searching for GHI pinstripes. I'm not gonna lie.
Like if you squint your eyes, if you
Yeah.
squint your eyes, you can see it.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think about that, but I'm just
That's
like when I
wild.
was looking around, there's so much that can be done. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
So I was
We're
not
working-
expecting that.
we're working pinstripe pretty heavy in our DG hypo stuff. So
Okay.
pretty pumped
Okay.
about that. That
Yeah.
those were two animals, especially the one that Celtic made. Those two
Mhm.
animals right there that made me decide to do that pairing in the first place, because I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely what I love to see.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And
That's only
pinstripe.
3 genes.
Right.
Yeah. Insane. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these combos, like it's 2 or 3 genes, but it's like
Well, it
surpasses so many other things. Like just
goes
looking at
back
them, like
to what you said, Moose. It's sometimes just that 3rd gene.
That third gene.
insane.
Yeah, that's
Insane.
that's crazy right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Here's
there's
the
our
hypos.
hypos. Yep. So I did not find a lot of recessive combos. I found some hypo stuff. This is a J and Z. This is was listed as a redhead, leopard, Mojave, and
Hypo.
that's it.
It's
Hypo.
not a hypo.
No, it's hypo. But that was
Okay.
it, like as for like the 3 different genes that were in it. Like, yes, it's definitely hypo.
And that's
So-
the whole pixelation that I was saying that I love about Mojave. How it just
Mhm.
totally starts obliterating that stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
just wish I wish it just wouldn't. I'd love to make more of them, but I know I'll make a bell with Redhead in it one day and be mad. So I've been very
Yeah, and
limited
you
with
can-
my Mojave.
Yeah, and you can see back, that it has that blushing on the back of its head. So like you said, there's some pretty good hallmarks if you're looking at combos, if you're looking for that head blushing in the back, that neck stripe to be either pixelated or broken.
Absolutely.
It seems to kind of carry through on all combos, which is good because,
Yeah.
when combos get, even 2 or 3 genes, people have a hard time sometimes, and they will be like, I'm not sure if I'm buying this gene or not, but that one's definitely obvious too.
Yeah, I know the guy he got the sire from, so
Okay.
he's a good dude.
Yep. And that
He
He
might-
might eat all your food, but he's a good dude.
is it you?
Yeah.
wait, are you dropping hints?
maybe.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So yeah, and this is I think this is the redhead Mojave hypo you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see the pixelation in it from the top.
Yeah.
So I felt like you could see it better in the top, but also it kind of looked like a like it almost has that super phantom look
Yes.
to me.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Mainly what I wanted to take for that picture is for the back of the head to show people that's what you're looking for, is for that
point again.
just to be totally just almost like in some way, shape, or form, some kind of stabbing weapon that it turns into in the back of their head. So
Some sort of stabbing weapon. And then
it seems to be prominent on most of them for sure.
yeah,
it seems to be pretty much across the board, which is good because it's always good to be able to ID, especially if you're getting into a new gene, having some really prominent markers so you're not selling something that's not it. Unfortunately, yep. And this is the puzzle, which I did not expect this, but I don't know if it's because it's Mojave or whatever, because it like floated it up so much. I just wrote on my screen trying to point to it.
Oh, that's funny because that animal was just at my house. So I'd go grab it. But I just brought those back to Nick.
Okay.
So funny. Yeah, I think when Nick actually hatched this, he was a little bit back and forth, but in person, that animal is just way prettier.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's not an attractive animal. It's just not like wouldn't have expected it to be puzzle. Like if you showed it to me, I would that's a puzzle.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I think in hand, I think you maybe see it a bit more, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We just had him at on a table. I don't even know where we were at. Kansas City, maybe a couple weekends ago or something. I brought him back to Nick then. But yeah. It does. It kind of throws you for a loop.
His dorsal is sick. It's just so thick and like wavy, and like I love it. It's amazing.
I'd like to see the colors of that one in person.
Yeah, it's nice.
Hypo is impossible to photograph. I feel like hypo is like the hardest thing to photograph. Wow.
Orange and hypo.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, yeah. And So this is just redhead spot nose. So the one we saw from Troy had the addition of fire to this combo.
I
And this
wanted
is
to
a
share
vegan,
this more than anything because by far it's been the best clown combo that I've seen produced as far as when it comes with Redhead.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they look so good out of the egg. Yeah, they definitely blend together a little more, as they go. Because I have a Redhead spot nose clown as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And out of the egg, yeah, it's just super pretty. But yeah, I would agree, Moose. It's a great combo. They go well together. And then Cypress again. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cypress Redhead spot nose is really pretty.
I haven't seen that.
Man.
Let's see if I can
I'm
get
working
you a
on
picture.
it. I'm working on it.
Okay. So this is just Redhead and Fire, which I really liked a lot.
It does so much work. Like it does so much work.
It's doing all the work. Yeah, like it's definitely an amazing. Thank you, John. We got a super chat. Woohoo!
Appreciate the love, man.
Thank you, John. Yeah, the just fire in it seems to really be insane in all the combos. Like Troy's edition, like the fire added to that girl, added all that noise everywhere, and just like I don't know, I like a noisy animal though. But I mean, even just this with the dorsal having those giant islands in it and everything's quite amazing.
No separation along the sides at all. Just it just goes.
Dalmatians.
That's all. That's wild. That's cool.
It is. Yeah, it looks like one of those spotted piebald derby goes nuts for. So here's just Redhead Stranger Clown, which Redhead and Stranger goes really well.
Yeah. I was so pumped to know that. I'm so glad somebody. I was scared. I really was. I was scared to try to even go that route. And I personally still have not bought any Stranger because I just, like I said, I was nervous. I didn't want to get too deep in it and then all of a sudden make something that I just couldn't figure out. So thankfully somebody like Donnie and like Yeti made something that just floored me enough to be excited about being involved with Stranger now.
For sure. Yeah. And I just like it. This one carries those same kind of noise in the dorsal. It seems like that's going to be across all our combos.
I really like that.
Now, have you found that like your lines that have? Oh, this is really clean. This is another crazy thing. This is a Batman, and we all know what a Batman looks like. But like, what? Like you add Redhead, and that turns into that. Like, okay, like
it's
insane. And the reason that I set these two together is because I wanted to see the Stranger Redhead and then the Redhead Batman. So then I could feed us into the next one, which is both of those things together. That's the Stranger Redhead Batman clown. And that's just recently been hatched. Is that correct?
I think it's probably about a year old now.
Okay.
I just remember getting the photos at like 4:00 in the morning, and I just was like, "Is this really happening? Like, am I seeing what's really?" He hit me out in the middle of nowhere, and asked me to find Redhead in it.
Yeah.
And I said, "Brother, I don't care if it's got Redhead in it. The thing is smoking." So it doesn't matter if it's got it or not. But I'm gonna go. I want to say yes because I want to believe it. I want it to be there.
I mean,
so
good gosh.
I mean, and Redhead also seems to want to like flip the dorsal on clown. Like it wants to take that black dorsal and put like a different stripe down the center. Like this one was successful, obviously, but a lot of the combos we're looking at, like they have like the islands in there and everything. Have you seen that in all your combos?
Mostly with the stuff that of course, I haven't made clowns personally, but from what I've seen when people are showing me the stuff like that, I've noticed it's either, and you could kind of sort of see it in the third one over, the one on the right, where it kind of like opens up. Like it's like, it would be a dark stripe back there, but we're going to see the hint of the tan through there or that red that we're looking for. And I was super pumped to see that when he showed me that.
Troy, are you doing any Stranger in yours?
I have, I think, one Stranger animal in the entire room. So have not yet. Nope.
Mostly focusing on those Cypress combos then?
Yeah, I would say just the Cypress, and then again, like spot nose and fire, things like that. Yeah. Yep.
And since that puzzle was visiting, I imagine you're doing puzzle also.
I have a little bit of puzzle stuff. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely we joined some forces from time to time, and so yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I figured as much. I figured you weren't just like keeping them for safekeeping.
Yeah. Hopefully it would be. So if all went well, it would be. So like that animal you saw of Nick's from Salone. So it'd be puzzle, Mojave Redhead, and then on my end and then hypo, and then my end would be puzzle hypo, sugar, and vanilla.
Okay. I would really like to see sugar. I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Especially since it wants to lift up.
Yeah. We're working sugar. I got luck. It's coming in through my high OD side, but it's definitely going to be involved with it. I'll have. I think I've got 4 or 5 clutches this year that's Redhead and high OD hypo. So hopefully my pastel high OD sugar head hypo female will go this year. She's in the middle of being her little bitchy self, but yeah, she hopefully will go this year to where we can get sugar on board pretty quick.
Have you guys seen any sugar that's been extremely visible in hypo combos? Because in most of the hypo combos I've seen, it's been kind of like it takes away from the.
It almost washes out like champagne.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if there was something I was missing or something I'm doing well.
I'm definitely getting that with my calico because I've got calico in my puzzle, and I've got a female puzzle that if it wasn't for the stripe on her back, she'd be a belle. I mean, there's everything is gone because of the calico.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the calico. I'm excited to see the calico for sure, since it wants to raise up the sides already. So that's gonna be a great combo. More clown stuff. Look at us. We're back to clowns. This I don't know how we ID'd this, but it's a red stripe, yellow belly, redhead, hurricane, spot nose, fire clown. I forgot the fire.
Yeah, most of us probably wouldn't ID it that correctly. But when Justin has 500 of them a year, he can.
Oh yeah, no, I believe
he certainly can play the game pretty quickly. Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I'd be like, wow, this
probably
is
so many he can add one ingredient at a time just to tell.
Yeah,
I would be like, here's the pairing, guys. You guys figure it out.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's beautiful though. It looks like a giraffe. But
yeah, I like the color.
Pretty.
Yeah,
I really like that
pretty.
orange coming through.
Yeah, I'd like to see how it held up. Oh, I like this one a lot. This is marked as a super redhead, and I didn't see a lot of super redhead stuff. In the super form, does it look pretty much the same?
Moose, have you actually heard that super redhead's been proven?
I want to say I've seen it just because I trust the people that have made it. I think the closest thing I've seen that's probably has hit the airwaves has been I can't think of his name. He worked Redhead Reptiles. He worked with
Ozzy.
He had the super redhead clown clutch. Like
that's
last
probably
year,
that's probably the closest I've seen to what I would feel confident in saying it's a super redhead. With OD and play on this one, but just because I can't see where it wouldn't be, I'd love to prove it out with something like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be that'd be an amazing animal to prove it out to.
Yeah, I love the head on that one. It looks like it doesn't belong.
Yeah, red stripe is another one that's amazing with redhead on board.
Yeah,
but you still have the little distortion right at the end of the neck, though.
On the neck, it's right there. Easy to see. There it is. But the head, no pause.
No pause.
No pause. Look at that head. And last but not least, we have this picture for Blackheart Exotics. The only picture of Ultramel Redhead that I could find. I couldn't find many different recessives, but we're thinking that the Redhead is the top one. Is that correct, Moose?
Yes, we believe.
Because it,
Yeah. It just
Yeah.
if he had to choose, if I had to choose between the two, and he was saying, "Hey, one of these are redhead," I definitely would say it's the one on top.
it definitely has a really different color to it, like throughout.
Yeah,
Like the
it's-
alien heads are a different color, the base color is a different color. The only thing that I'm not seeing is your little pointy thing on the back of its head.
Right. And I've seen it with a lot of my het clown combos, my just straight up redhead het clown combos. I guess
Mhm.
because the clown influence is such there, and there's such a change with that with the
Mhm.
dorsal when it comes to that. I've caught the blobs on some of them, and some of the redhead het clowns. I think when I first saw Troy's when it was a baby, that was the
Mhm.
first thing that made me go, well, maybe this isn't just an identifier for redhead in general. Maybe it's a
Okay.
hypo thing. So,
Okay.
so yeah, I do have some that that still kind of sort of have. I think it has a lot to do with what's the influence involved with it.
Okay. But it's definitely a different color. So if it's not a redhead,
yeah.
ultramel, is there any other options for it to be a different incomplete dominant in the pairing that you know of? I know it's not your pairing, but
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think
sure you
so.
talked to
I
him.
think it.
Okay.
I think it was a head to head pairing, like a redhead head ultra male to an ultra male. So like it
Okay.
really could be just regular ultra males or a redhead. So
Okay. All right.
Certainly been asked if I'll do
Yeah.
redhead with like monarch and whatnot. I don't see the point. If people think this looks great, that's that's an opinion, right? I
Yeah.
don't see the point. I just don't see the point.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
try- I'm
if
trying
you're
it on-
putting other. Okay.
I'm trying it on. Sorry, I'm trying it on general principle because we've got ultra glow. So
Sure.
I'm doing it just to see if I can make redhead hypo, redhead ultra glows. So, but
Yeah, I'd be curious to
definitely
see
not
how it
one-
looks, man. Yeah.
But it's
I mean-
there's no deep dive in that though.
But for the single gene, yeah, maybe the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But if you get into some of these 3 gene combos and you have monarch on it, it's gonna be sick. Like if you like some of these
Yeah.
combos, like with the monarch colors, is insane. I imagine. I'm definitely wanting to do it. So I don't know. We'll see. It might suck. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
I've tried that might
You never
suck.
know.
You never do.
You never know.
You never do.
You never
Until
know.
it's
You try
made.
it.
And then you're just like, look, it's a this, and everybody's like, womp womp, and you're like, okay, I'll put it back in the rack.
Yeah. Back to
Back to the rack with you. Yeah. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah. Well, those are all the pictures that I had set up for tonight. I don't know if you guys have any other anecdotal evidence, anything you think that might be interesting for people to know. You want to tell a
If
story about
anybody
your
wants
dog?
if anybody wants to get into it, I'll have a ton of either just basic redhead hypos or combos. I think we've got butter involved with it. We've got Cypress involved with it. Blackhead. I've got a ton of. This is the year that was supposed to be our push off point anyway. So
Okay.
I'll have a lot of redhead stuff available.
Okay.
In either a het like a hypo het clown or So I have a lot of good building block redhead stuff. So if you're looking to get on board, definitely watch the Instagram and be looking on Morph Market because we'll be posting pretty hot and heavy.
I'll send them your way, Moose, because I think everything I'm working on, I'm probably keeping.
You're doing a lot of
I
all
don't
that
blame
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
Fair enough.
If you put Cypress in it.
Yeah, it's all pretty
Why'd you put
stuff, man.
Cypress in it? Yeah. So where can everybody find you guys real quick before we get out of here?
Ooh, I'm pretty easy. Best dressed balls, whether it's Instagram or Morph Market or whatever. Or you can find me at All American Reptile and Plant Expo as well.
Solid.
Excellent.
Well, thankfully, since there's not a lot of great balls out there when it comes to Instagram, at least before the adult content thing starts kicking in. So if you start typing great balls, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get to my Instagram. But it is Great Balls
Okay.
of Fire with the underscore under each one.
Uh-huh.
We do have a Facebook page as well. We are on Morph Market. And shameless plug to the new business, Snake Haven Feed Company. We've started that recently. So both of
Solid.
those are available on Facebook and Instagram. We're working on getting shipping and stuff started, but if you see me at a show with rats, please come buy it from me, please.
Excellent.
Please come by the rats.
Yeah.
Awesome. You have any other questions for him, Brian? I think I've asked all.
No,
mine.
I mean, it was a learning experience for me tonight because I didn't know much about the gene at all, and I gotta tell you, I learned actually quite a lot about it.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, guys. It's always appreciated. We know that everybody has things going on, and some of us have a hole in the top of our van. So
Yeah, I'm gonna head right outside and finish putting some caulk down. So I've got about 30 minutes of light left.
enjoy,
Holes and
Troy. Thanks
Marleys.
for popping in for a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, and I guess with that we'll say good night, huh?
Good night. That was episode 8, Redhead.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Morph Map, your sat nav to and through genes that slap. A panel of experts about to blab blab. Yeah, crack your code. Oh, morph mapping, hemipenes tapping, locks are happening. Pattern disruption, head effect blushing. Bright, clean, blushing, dry, stripe, markers. Patternization, single head, double head, triple head, parse head. If you like to bet, pattern explosion, blown apart, monsoon markers, polymorphism, pinstripe tax, exemptions, examples, exceptions, blushing, bandit, check that head stand.